Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we've got another Jimmy Kimmel video for you. Now it's looking more and more likely that Jimmy Kimmel is done. It's very unlikely he's going to be coming back, that Disney and ABC are washing their hands of the situation. And there's a little behind the scenes drama as to what's going on. Hearing lawyers are involved, that there were threats.
I don't know. I was seeing too that other places are saying that Disney's trying to figure out how to put him back on the air and walk it back.
Yeah, I don't know. So we're getting different stories. This person, we'll talk about it. Hollywood Reporter's got Kimmel staffer can't imagine a scenario in which ABC late night show returns. And then we've got a contrasting story with The Wrap where it says Disney in crisis mode as studio seeks path for Jimmy Kimmel's return.
But they could have just, here's the thing about that. Just because the ABC affiliates wouldn't carry it, some of them, not all of them, they could have still kept it going on some of the affiliates and put it on Disney Plus or Hulu. But they didn't, because I think they were looking for a reason to get rid of it.
Yeah, that's ultimately at the end of it, regardless of how you feel about it. We've got another video coming up talking about, celebrity reactions and calls for a boycott of Disney, which is so ironic, given that the left accused the right of being ridiculous about boycotting over, multiple people getting blacklisted at Disney.
I know, they were okay with it. They sat in silence. WGA said nothing when other actors who people think lean right or that their politics are on the right side, in quotes, no one did a thing. It was just justice. But when it's somebody that's their buddy, that's on their side, oh my gosh, guys, this cancel culture needs to stop.
Yeah.
Then why did you enable it to begin with?
Well, that's just it. You opened
Pedro Pascal is defending Jimmy Kimmel. He said jack shit when it was Gina Carano.
And he worked with Gina, and Gina was supposedly his friend. Yeah, I mean, we'll
talk. Coward.
We're going to talk about this. That's actually another video. This one we're going to talk about. That we don't know if he's done or not, because there was this video you sent me. This video from Brian Allen on.
I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, they were just showing this. They could just be moving stuff. Doesn't mean anything.
I don't know. It's all packed up in tents, and this looks to me. I don't know. I mean, regardless of how long he's going to be gone, it might be a while. They might be like, yeah, we can use that studio for something else, but it looks like they're packing up the trucks. Again, we don't know what the current status of it is, but we're going to talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Most high-profile male characters have been reduced to passive, emasculated slobs that embody unhealthy lifestyles, in the process tacitly encouraging everyone to let themselves go instead of keeping mentally and physically fit and healthy, which we all should strive toward. And helping out toward that end is NMN, that is nicotinamide mononucleotide, a natural supplement which is vital for the functioning of the 37 trillion cells in your body and which can help reduce weight, cholesterol, and even blood pressure in overweight adults, meaning it not only slows down, but it can functionally reverse aging. Don't take my word for it. Here's Professor David Sinclair from the Paul F. Glenn Center for the Biology of Aging at Harvard Medical School talking about it on Joe Rogan.
Someone like you is an actual research scientist of this stuff. I always want to know, what are you doing to yourself?
How long have you got?
Like, what do you do on a daily basis?
What do I do?
First of all, are you 100 years old?
Getting there.
How old are you?
Turning 50. So
you're turning 50?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought you were 50. I would have figured you were for about 41, 42.
I eat healthy. I try to skip meals. I also take supplements. And in fact, most of my colleagues are in the field of aging, or anti-aging as people call it. So I take NMN every morning.
What is NMN?
NMN is so efficient. In fact, the FDA is trying to take it away by having it reclassified as a performance-enhancing drug. If you take NMN, you will run faster, lift heavier, punch harder, and have more excess energy. Why? Because NMN is one of the main precursors of NAD+, which Professor Sinclair also explains more about in this clip.
What is NMN?
Good question. So let me take a quick step back.
Sure.
So about 20 years ago, Lenny Guarente and a team of us at MIT discovered a set of genes that controls aging in yeast cells, just brewer's yeast, what you find in beer and bread. And those genes are called sirtuins, and there are 7 of them in our bodies, 5 in yeast. And what they do is they protect all organisms on the planet, plants, bacteria, humans, from deterioration and disease. They're like the Pentagon. They sense when we're hungry, sense when we're exercising, and they send out the troops to defend us. So when you put more of these genes into a yeast cell or a mouse, they'll live longer, between 5 to 20% longer. And so we think that these genes are responsible for the effects of dieting and exercise, which is great. What that means is we can now mimic that with molecules. So NMN is one of those molecules.
In other words, as you get older, in order to stay strong, healthy, and mentally alert, you need to supplement your levels of NMN, the precursor to NAD+, and Black Forest Supplements, the sponsor of this video, can help you do that. What's more, for the next 48 hours, viewers of this channel can buy 2 and get 1 free, so order yours now. Link is in the description. That's blackforestsupplements.com/clownfish, blackforestsupplements.com/clownfish. Thank you so much for the sponsorship. Let's get back into the video. Go out to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com. Get notified of video uploads. If you are not getting everything that we are sending, maybe you just don't like us very much, or maybe YouTube's not showing it to you.
That could be too.
That could be too. Yeah, this is the face you get when you don't get. Is the face you make when you don't get Clownfish TV videos there, Joyce. So check it out, news.clownfishtv.com. So let's go with this one first. The person working on the show who says they can't imagine a scenario in which the show is going to return, and then we'll do the counterpoint that Disney is supposedly working on a way forward.
Well, then another one on Daily Beast is like the details revealed of the standoff, and it's hit a stalemate. Basically, from my understanding, they want him to apologize, and he's like, no.
Well, I mean, you gotta give him props for that. I mean, it's he's sticking to his guns, even if you don't agree with them. But we've got Rolling Stone being like, MAGA drummed up BS to take down Jimmy Kimmel again.
Oh no. See, here's the thing. This is what. Look, I have said, and I still say this. I don't think he should have been fired for comments, because I don't think Gina Carano should have been fired for comments. And no. I don't think, other people that were like Roseanne Barr and different people should have been fired. So in that regard, I don't think that he should have been. That being said, he should have to issue an apology like other people have had to. And he wants to stay on the air. He's apparently claiming he doesn't want to do that, and that's his choice. But make no mistake, his show has been bottom. It has been losing money, losing viewership for a long time. And what makes me mad, which I think you talked about in another video, is this Hollywood push to save their buddy. And then it's going to backfire spectacularly, I think. But the bullshit bag has drummed up BS. Then, okay, well then fine. Then the far left kept drumming up shit on Gina Carano, on different people that have been canceled. They went and dug the one girl that worked for that one gaming place because she liked Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, Limited Run, yeah.
Yeah, Limited Run. They went and found, they literally went and found one tweet from years ago to try to get her in trouble. I don't fucking want to hear it, because you guys set the rules of engagement and you've been doing this to everyone else for years. But now that it's one of your people, even though, again, two things be true at once, I don't think he should have been fired any more than they should have been fired. But it is all, I think the hypocrisy is atrocious. Again, two things can be true at once.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up here, because he actually celebrated the firing of Roseanne Barr. Mm-hmm. When Roseanne Barr tweeted, and she shouldn't have tweeted that, I'm gonna be honest, she tweeted some off-color comments about an aide to Obama, comparing her to an ape, and she was on like Ambien or something, but she actually did apologize profusely. They still kicked her off of her show. Yeah,
but Whoopi Goldberg made comments about Jewish people,
yeah,
and then she was allowed to just have a little suspension and apologize, and everything was fine. The double standard is the issue.
And yeah, people were passing this around. He did celebrate ABC's, like, ABC, to their credit, got rid of Roseanne Barr. It was about free speech. It was about consequences for saying something vile. You can say what you want, but networks don't have to pay you to say it.
Are you effing kidding me? This is what this little bitch said.
Yes, this was back in 2018 when she got.
That's what I keep seeing people post, and I'm like, and then they're like, it's wrong. Freedom of speech is being attacked, and then people are showing these same people and their tweets when other people got canceled and how they celebrated it, because freedom of speech isn't freedom from consequence, and if you say shitty things, you should be punished for it, until it's them and their friends, and it's on their side, and then it's like that meme about the person shoveling dirt and shit over a fence, and then when it starts coming back at them, I'm being attacked.
Yeah, well, that's just it. I mean, this is
bully bitches.
This is where I'm really torn on this whole thing, right? This is where I'm so torn on this, because I do not believe we should be censoring people if they didn't say anything that was outright,
But he said some shitty things.
He said some shitty things over the years, but
No. His other comment though, it was, I think it was not to fire him over no, but he basically just said something he knew wasn't true and was provably untrue, just to slam the MAGA in quotes people.
Yeah, I mean, he danced around the issue, but yeah, he definitely heavily implied that the shooter was absolutely MAGA, and that theory is still going around, and even though
it's been disproven.
But yeah, look, the news gets it wrong all the time. All you got to do is issue a retraction. We'll look into it.
That's what I'm saying. If they had just said the retraction, he had apologized or whatever, they could have probably done something, or they could have just taken him off ABC and put him on his other networks, and they didn't.
No, so that tells me that they're, like we were talking about, that there's something else going on here. Basically, Jimmy Kimmel is either a pain in the ass to work with, right, or he's too expensive,
or he doesn't bring it, and he didn't shut up.
Or he was told and he didn't shut up, and they're like, you know what, that's it, we're done. You're not even worth it anymore. We're done. You just cost us our relationship with two of our biggest station carriers, and that's the thing. Like, he's basically saying when Roseanne got fired, you can say whatever you want, but networks don't have to pay you to say it. And that's what's going on here, is they don't have to pay him to say it, especially if he's going to cost them money. And God knows Disney at this point needs as much money as they can get. So they're going to be like, yeah, you know what? You just spared us from making a very, it wasn't a very difficult decision, but like now we have an excuse. And the same thing's going to happen with the whole Antifa thing. They're going to blow through a bunch of industries, toss people overboard, and then they're going to have an out. But the reality is they actually wanted those people gone to begin with, or they wanted to, decrease their head count and their overhead. And they're just going to be like, oh, yeah, we think you might be Antifa. Bye.
You gave them a convenient excuse to do what they wanted to do anyway. Because if they didn't want to get rid of him, they would have found another way. They would have said, okay, we'll pause it. Yeah, I guess like they said, my understanding, it was on hiatus. And then they talked to him and they're like, issue an apology. And he's basically like, no. So they're like, okay, well, then we're done.
Yeah.
Kind of situation is the way it sounds to me from what I'm reading.
Okay, so let's go out here first, talk about staffers saying they don't imagine how it can return. Then we're going to see what's going on with Disney. So this is coming from The Hollywood Reporter. Kimmel staffer says, I can't imagine a scenario in which the Late Show returns if you're in Hollywood and don't want to say anything in support publicly. Well, F you, says the Jimmy Kimmel Live staffer. Sounds like the vibes among the suspended Jimmy Kimmel Live staff are not optimistic. Rick Ellis, a veteran journalist who publishes the Too Much TV Substack, spoke with an unidentified staffer at the show. And the show's on an indefinite hiatus. I'm in the middle of one of those moments that really defines the type of person you are. Though the experience on the show over the past few years has been great, the person said that everything around it has sucked. It was becoming increasingly clear in recent weeks that Sir Iger and the ABC executives would cut us loose in a second if they thought something we did might hurt attendance at Disney World or cost anyone their annual bonus. Okay.
Yeah, because they were losing money. A lot of it, and viewership.
So, yeah, again, this just confirms they were looking for a reason to cut him loose, and the first chance they got, they did. They said, they further said they were not shocked by ABC's decision to suspend the show, but surprised by the timing. You could see it coming. Every time some MAGA asshat would spout off about the show, the knot in my stomach got tighter.
Oh, I think right there. You know what? You just discredited yourself.
Yeah. Well, it shows, though. It shows that Disney is like, oh shit, we know who butters our bread, and it's like families and conservatives. And,
again, but to be fair though, a lot of people are already on the MAGA. Here's the thing: what they're not understanding is when they're going MAGA, it's not MAGA, because a lot of the MAGA people already cut their subscriptions. They already left Disney a long time ago. You're talking about the middle people who think you went too far. That's what you're talking about when you're labeling everyone as MAGA, because you've absolutely learned fucking nothing in the last how many years. You're completely missing the point that a lot of the quote unquote MAGA people don't even support Disney anymore and haven't for years. They canceled years ago when the media never covered those cancellations. Like when people were for their subscribers, subscriptions, they hardly ever covered that. So what you're talking about is this audience is probably mostly people in the middle who are still families and still kept Disney Plus, or leftists who were supporting Disney because they were sticking it to MAGA. And now you just pissed, Jimmy Kimmel's comments pissed them off, and then Disney's reaction pissed the far left off. And here we go. But to be fair, I want to point out, I have the numbers here. I said, according to monthly Nielsen figures, Jimmy Kimmel Live dropped to just 1.1 million total viewers in August, down 43% from January's not 1.95 million. August household rating of 0.35 marked the weakest showing of the year.
Okay, so just we're talking that's like their estimated total viewers for Jimmy Kimmel. So just to put things in perspective, we usually don't talk like behind the curtain stuff here on the channel, but our total viewership monthly usually is between 750 and 1 million people a month, and we're a pretty small YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, that's a valid point. Yeah, 1.1 million viewers. I don't know if that's per episode.
I think it's just what they're considering a regular viewer, and that's kind of how they do it on YouTube too. Is they're like, if the person watches, even if they only watch like a quarter of your content, they come back again and again and again.
But there are YouTubers that get that per video.
Per video, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
More than
like
that per video.
Look at Asmongold. Some of his videos get like 2 million, 4 million views. So when you've got a company like Disney spending God knows how much money, and we talked about Jimmy before, like he doesn't even know how he gets paid because he was all mad about Colbert, and he's like, I just know it must be working because they keep paying me, and I'm like, dude, if you don't even know where your money comes from, like anybody, like I worked as a managing editor for a newspaper, and I was keenly aware of the line that had to be, you could get right up against the line. You had to straddle the fence between marketing and editorial because you wanted freedom of speech, freedom of press, but you also had to know where your bread was buttered. So you couldn't do a big expose on some big advertiser or something. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't know where the money comes from. So, to him, it's just like free money. Like, oh, Disney just keeps throwing money at me.
Well, this person's gets even more vile. I mean, like the MAGA people will never be happy. It'll never be enough. And it's like, bitch, please. I am going to call you a bitch because you're a little bitch. Bitch, please. Because anytime anybody even apologizes for something towards the left, it's never enough. You have to do more. You have to give more. You have to reparations and everything else. It's never enough. So when you set the rules. You decided that cancel culture was going to be this, and this is what you had to do. And if you were on the right, you never can get out of it no matter what and everything else. And you said that, with like all these different things that you have to, apologize and you have to give money to whatever. You guys set those. You set the rules of engagement. You set them for years. And now that it's coming back on you, they'll never be happy. They'll never be enough. It's like, well, who started it, bitch? Who started it? Because you know what? Two things be true at once, where I think people, shouldn't necessarily be punished for freedom of speech. Like he said, if, you say something vile, it doesn't mean the networks have to keep you. If they consider you a threat. And also, you guys did this for years. And you can't even see it because you're just like, it's okay when we do it, but not when they do it. That's never enough for them. I'm like, well, because they're mad now. You guys have done it for how many years? How many people got canceled and you said nothing? Until it's one of yours, until it's your job. That those awful MAGAs. It's like, kindly fuck yourself. And I'm not even MAGA. And I was like, fuck yourself. I'm in the middle and I think you're full of shit.
Either everybody has free speech or nobody has free speech.
Right. You can't. It has to be evenly enforced, which we said about Disney how many times? You have to have guidelines and you have to evenly enforce them.
Yes. We would not be at this place right now if they had evenly enforced it with Roseanne Barr and with Tim Allen to some degree. But that, they got rid of, Roseanne and Gina Carano and all that.
Other people keep making shitty comments. When they got rid of those people, they had people like Mark Hamill, Mark Ruffalo, and Jimmy Kimmel and stuff like that making shitty comments all the time, and they were allowed to say what they wanted to say, and there was no punishment until they crossed the line, and then there's punishment, and they're like, oh my God, I'm being oppressed. Those awful, mean people. I'm like, you did it for years. Karma is a bitch, and so are you.
So, Disney's they're saying, this person's saying Disney's going to look at the situation, decide it's cheaper just to buy out the rest of his contract. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Well, I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but I mean, they're going to look at the ratings. Like if he were bringing it, that's like I said, South Park, you can get away with a hell of a lot more on South Park than you can get away with on Colbert because Colbert was losing them money. And I imagine Jimmy Kimmel was losing them money. And I think what the unfortunate side effect of all of this is going to be is that they're going to crack down on live TV and you're going to have to run your pre-recorded show through a censor before it airs. And that's the place we're going to be at, because we got to make sure it's ad safe, just like YouTube. YouTube wants to check your videos to make sure they're ad safe before they promote them in the algorithm. Because if you try pushing something that's not ad safe, it's going to get deboosted. Live streamers a lot of times have problems getting found in the algorithm unless you have a regular audience, because YouTube is afraid it's not going to be ad safe. And it's going to be the same thing here. It's going to be like live TV is too dicey. SNL's throwing people overboard. I mean, they're supposedly hiring new people, but I'm thinking there's a bigger issue going on here, which is going to be like, yeah, we're gonna have to censor everybody going forward, because we don't know what the fuck these people are going to say. You know, we have
and
no
at this
idea.
point, because and the irony is that Hollywood and these studios and their news agencies associated with them have spent years polarizing everybody politically, deliberately trying to, pit people against each other, not covering things fairly and honestly necessarily, and things like that. And now they've got to a place where it is so polarized that you got the situation, and that you can't make anybody happy. So you got to figure out which one's what's going to be the lower losses. But you did it to yourselves, because you didn't just stay neutral. You didn't just stay in the middle. You allowed this to happen, where it was definitely skewing very far left, and you let it happen. And now there is no going back from that without damage, because even if you want to take it back to, you want to dial it down, you want to take it back to center, and quote unquote, you already pushed it so far that there's no way you're going to win, because now all these people are saying they're canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions because they're on the left. And to be fair, most of their audience is probably left that's on the left, because the far right already left a long time ago.
So it's just kind of funny that this is the line as Jimmy Kimmel, when it was like, wait, hey, Disney's opening a park in Abu Dhabi and they're not going to let there be any LGBTQ anything in that park, and Disney is censoring.
Well, I'm sure guests will be allowed. People are worried about that, but it's in the tourist
well, they're not going to
district.
have the carrot. They're not going to have. You're not going to find pride pins at the Abu Dhabi park. Let's put it that way, right? And the princesses are probably going to be covered head to toe like they are in wrestling. It's a cultural. And they've already said as much. It's going to be a cultural thing. But they were smart in that. They're like, oh, we're going to let this third party handle that, and then we can just be like, oh yeah, that's what they wanted to do.
So they licensed it. It's their country.
So this is what the Wrap is saying. They said behind closed door, Disney spent Thursday focused on finding a way to get Kimmel back on the air with a degree of urgency, an insider told the Wrap. The insider added that while Kimmel was preparing to address the backlash to his Monday comments on Wednesday's show, Disney felt what he wanted to say would have continued to enrage the right. The two sides couldn't come to an agreement on how to address the uproar in a way that brought the temperature down. So the Wrap was told the situation became unsafe as Disney employees were fielding death threats. And then they pulled the plug.
First, I want to take a moment. Never threaten people. It's not. Don't do that. I mean, if it's true, yes, because there's never receipts when they say this, but because people are going to say, well, there's no receipts. Okay, yes, if it's true, but should probably be fair is, don't do that. There's no point to that. It's not going to fix anything. It's not going to save anything. I'm talking on both sides. Don't do that. Because Disney employees, I'm sure, were getting death threats from the left. And these are the same people who scream about getting death threats, or that with rights faking it and everything else. Just don't do it on either side. It's not cool either way.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. It's like, it's your playbook.
But yeah, I know it's all coming back. It's all come back on them, like a karmic boomerang.
And if, and again, I'm not for, I will be very clear, I am for free speech. I am for, people being able to speak their mind without fear of government reprisal, unless it, actually includes, threats of violence or whatever. But this is like literally everything that happened to people on the right, and it was no big deal. It was barely an inconvenience. Now one person gets taken out. Well, there's actually several people getting taken out all over the place, but like one of quote unquote yours gets taken. One scalp for the 20 scalps, 30 scalps on the other side.
I mean, here's the thing though. It's like, unlike, the other side, they didn't, no one killed Jimmy Kimmel, thankfully.
Thank God. Yeah. No,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
And he did. I mean, to his credit, when he found out about the Charlie Kirk thing, he actually did say, it was a horrendous thing to happen. But
he had to get digs in there because
he had to get digs in there.
They can't stand it. And it's their echo chamber, telling them that, I'm sure Disney, I don't know this, but I wouldn't be surprised knowing what I know about Disney. He was probably warned.
He was
wouldn't
probably warned.
Surprise me.
It wouldn't have happened. I'm going to be honest. It wouldn't have happened this quickly if he wasn't warned ahead of time. Like, hey, just whatever you do, don't say XYZ thing. We're kind of in a dicey place right now. Just say, hey, it's horrible. But the flip side is the entire show is about bashing the right. So you've got nothing else. Like, what else are you going to talk about? I mean, honestly, I would have been like, it's horrible what happened. Just for, a week or two, could we just like bring the temperature down? We're just going to talk to celebrities and we're going to try to avoid getting hyper political, hyper partisan. But that is his audience. His audience wants blood, and no pun intended. And now we've got like literal blood.
Well, now the other side does too, because they're just that was the straw that broke the camel's back. They're just like, we're tired of it. We're tired. And I mean, I don't disagree with them for being really angry, because it is a hypocritical pile of shit. And, and here's the thing on Disney's part, they're trying to get him back on there and issue apology. I don't know if that's going to be enough at this point. I mean,
that's what they're saying.
I think, it's just, and it's not necessarily even just on Kimmel. It's just that things have gotten to a place because of all the Hollywood dogpiling and encouragement in the media and stuff like this for this shit, which is why I said I blamed the Kirk assassination on the media and Hollywood and stuff. The people they're not going to put up with it. So if Disney, let's say he apologizes, okay? People on the right are going to be, furious, and they're going to come after them. People in the middle who think that that's all gone too far are going to pull their subscriptions. And then, you might get the left people to come back and be like, that's right, you show them Disney. But here's the thing with the left, it's like it's never enough. For all his claim, but it's right, it's never enough. And we don't want to be that way too. If you're somebody who's had it, and I get wanting to act in the same way that you've been treated for all this time. I get it. I totally get it. But it comes to a point where it's like, but if we're going to be like witch hunting every little thing too, then that just makes you just as guilty as the other side. And then it's just going to be more of the same. It's just going to be on your side.
But, in this case, I mean, at least Disney has a scapegoat saying, well, our carriers, our, affiliate stations wouldn't carry it.
Gave them the excuse they needed.
They wanted, and again, back to what we talked about in the beginning, they wanted Kimmel gone, I think, to save a bunch of money. His ratings were tanking. They have the option now of buying it out early, but they're like, people are going to be angry if they cancel. I'm like, will they? Nobody's watching them. I mean, for all these people that are so pissed off.
He'll just go call his friends up and he'll go do a podcast or something else. He's fine. And as far as, like I said, again, Disney didn't have to put it on indefinite hiatus at all, because either of those affiliates didn't want to cover it. They could have been like, if they truly wanted to keep him and it wasn't because of looking for a reason, easily put his show on Hulu, they run it on there anyway, easily put his show on Disney Plus, put it, on YouTube or someplace else. They could have easily put it someplace else. And it would have, avoided the problem. They would have set a precedent, stuck up to the, for him. They did it. Which speaks more volumes speaks louder to me than anything.
Do you know all those union workers they would have to pay even if they just put the show on Hulu? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's what they're looking at. And they're saying, they're trying to basically get him to apologize, but they don't even know what he could say at this point. But I'm like, dude, I don't think he's a terrible person. Actually, Adam Carolla is sticking up for him. They used to do the Man Show together, and he's like, he's not a bad person, really, but
he said something stupid.
He said something stupid, but
he won't apologize for it either. And I mean, part of me is like, well, stick to your guns. I get that, and then part of me is like, dude, you said something stupid.
You set the rules. You made fun of other people getting canceled. You thought was the moral thing to do, the right thing to do. When quote, and this is what sucks about tribalism. When quote unquote your side was in charge, you had carte blanche to say whatever you wanted to, and you could join the pile on. And now that it's come for you, you don't like it. We have been saying for years. We've been doing this for about 7 or 8 years now. We've been saying since the beginning. You cheer it on, and the beast will eventually eat you, but it's going to eat you last, and that's what's going on.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happening. And it is what it is. It's like you guys all were cheering for this, and now it's coming for you. Now they're like, freedom of speech is being attacked. It's like freedom of speech was under attack before from you. But you didn't care when it was your quote unquote side, or you were defending your side, and those bad no good nicks. I mean, they said that someone, I think I read that Kimmel had got one of those people was fired from his show. They've been there a while because he wouldn't take the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. It's like this whole idea that it's okay when you do it is bullshit. And that's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of this hypocritical pile of crap. I think that people should be allowed to say what they want to say, but that doesn't mean companies have to still keep you,
Yeah, it's his own words. Just turn it right around. Like, hey, consequences for saying something vile.
They overreacted, and it could have been easily addressed with an apology, or someone should have been sitting on him a lot more than they were. But the behavior around it, I think, is unacceptable from Hollywood and company. It's unacceptable because you sat there on your thumbs when other people are being canceled just because they weren't on your quote unquote side. It's like you don't get to say moral high ground now, bitches. You don't.
Well, that's just
Pedro
it. Like,
Pascal looking at you when I say bitch.
I think cancel culture is wrong, but you've been playing by these rules for years, and now it's turnabout. And I mean, I think we need to get to a place where it's wrong, period. But right now, people are delighting in applying the rules evenly.
And I think middle America, I think they're concerned about freedom of speech, rightfully so. But I think middle America is just like, you shouldn't, people shouldn't be celebrating. You shouldn't be saying this stuff. Like, you shouldn't be. It's gone too far.
Yeah.
And we need, and they're waking up and being like, no, we got to stop this now. And we need it to go back to center.
So there we go. We got to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.